Hey everyone, Jamie Pate here, and welcome to this very special video. I am so excited. Here I am. I am so excited, and I'm so excited you're here to watch this. Scrapbook.com has just sent me the brand new Distress color, but I wanted to unbox it here with you all and basically just share my initial reaction to this brand new color. I'm so excited. There's like butterflies in my stomach right now. It's crazy. This is so awesome. Okay, here we go. How do you go about unboxing such a very fun thing? Okay, I'm just going to cut through the tape here. And I think what we do is we open it from this little side here. All right, so I'm going to open this right here from the top. You might even see this before me. Nope, trick. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's keep going. Let's pull this baby out. All right, you guys. Are you ready? Oh, I should have known by the tissue. Oh, wow. Salvaged Patina. What an awesome name. What a striking color. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, I'm just trying to figure out my words. I feel so honored already for being able to share this here. And then I'm just speechless because it's so beautiful. I'm not surprised that it's beautiful. I think it's like extra beautiful because it's in my hands like this. And I think you'll feel the same way too when you actually get this. Should I open it up? So I have the Distress paint. I have a re-inker here. Oh, my all-time favorite, the Distress Oxide spray. Let's just tighten this up a little bit. Let's just tighten this image up here a little bit while I open these up. Beautiful. Distress spray. I have the embossing glaze. Just gorgeous. And my all-time favorite product is the Distress Oxide Ink pad. Of the Distress line, I reach for this the most. I have so much fun with the sprays, and then to combine it with the spray stain. Oh yeah, let's get down to a little bit of fun with these beautiful colors. Thank you for being here, and let's make something. Okay, one of the first projects I want to make, I'm going to focus on MemoryDex cards today. Why MemoryDex cards? Well, because number one, they are just as versatile as an artist trading card, right? So you can just do anything on them. They're small, they're compact. And so I just have a couple ideas I want to share with you guys just to get us started, because sometimes you got to prime the pump. And so for me, that's kind of what I'm doing here. So I'm going to pull a couple of these things out of the way. What I want to do first is use the Distress spray. And I'm going to also be using the Distress White Heavy Stock. And I just have a swatch here. It's probably left over from another project I worked on. And I'm going to add some color here to my mat. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. And then to that, some water. I'm just going to do what some of us in the industry call smushing. I'm going to smush some color on here, and then I'm going to dry it. So I'm going to dry this with my heat gun and then cut it with my MemoryDex die. So here we go. So this is just a great way just to see what the color looks like, right? Just to kind of start off and get a feel for how very gorgeous blue this is. I think this is just going to go with so many collections right now and, of course, going forward. But what I want to do next, I decided first, is I'm going to just add a couple of spritzes, maybe we'll call it, to my craft mat. And I'm just going to gently just add a little bit of that to the top of this color I already have here, just to give it a little bit more interest. Might add a little bit of water in there. And that's just going to bring in a little bit of a different layer. And I'm not going to do too much. You can see there's some on there. I'm happy with that. I mean, because I really don't have any hard pressed rules here for how I want this to look. I just want the color. So I'm going to dry this, then we'll cut it with the die cut. Before I dried this, I added a few spritzes of water in there. So it gave yet another layer of shading and hue. So there's a lot of things going on here simply by adding in the Distress spray stain and then the Distress Oxide layered on that with some water. And so now I'm going to cut this. I have cut this background paper with a MemoryDex die and just the classic kind of tab die. So really fun way to make a background, right, for your MemoryDex cards. So it's all ready to go. I have some pieces here from Simple Stories that I'm going to now get ready to add to my card. I'm going to back this tag up here with a piece of foam adhesive, trim off the excess. You know me, I like to take a straight edge. Here's an old spatula tool and just kind of rough up the edges. So that's what I'm going to do there, just to give them a little bit of an edge to them. And it's only going to provide basically just some more definition. Before I put it on my card, I'm going to run some baker's twine through here. I like to use this little space up here by the tab to kind of be an anchor when I'm adding a lot of extra elements to a card. I'm not afraid of white space on my card, which you're going to see that, but it's just a fun little space there to kind of add something to. And I wanted to add this in here as well. This I will adhere flat on the card. That'll be just a fun way to show a little bit of text behind our tag. And then next, I'm going to use this label here. Also going to pop it up with an adhesive foam dot. Layer on top of the tag itself. I'm never afraid of dimension on my MemoryDex cards. And then I have this Dream Big, and it's a quote chip from Ideology. And it's going to hang out right there. Next thing I wanted to do was just add a bit of a flower back behind everything. So again, using a bit of foam adhesive, you have yourself a terrific, fun card backed up with the beautiful Salvaged Patina. I think it plays great with these vintage pieces. And so there's one way you can use Salvaged Patina on a MemoryDex card. For the next card, I've cut the heavy stock out in yet a different shape from another MemoryDex die. What I wanted to find out this time is what I thought about adding the Distress Oxide Ink. And I have a Scrapbook.com ink dome blender. And just going to kind of add a little bit of color here to my card and just see what the different variation is versus using the Distress ink stain or the Distress Oxide spray to the card. Now, the one thing with this is that you can obviously keep it so that the color is just on the outside, or fill in the whole thing and just create your own background. And kind of naturally, by virtue of how I came in here on the card, my edges are good and highlighted. And I like that. I kind of like that it gives a bit of a framing to the whole card. And it's just inking the edges is all that is. It's nothing special or fancy at all. It's just inking your edges, or come in such a way so that your edges are not inked. Either way, I'm sorry, you're just not going to go wrong with this color. It's beautiful, and I love how it's subtly playing out here on this card. And again, there's all kinds of things that could take place here, by adding some embossing resist, by stenciling through. Oh, and we're going to do that next. I'm going to stencil through one of my favorite dot stencils. Okay, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I will tell you, when you work on these cards, you will think of your next idea. I guarantee it. This is super subtle on here. I hope you can see it. The color is very, very subtle, and I'm going to kind of keep it that way and work from here. Okay, I will tell you what, I am resisting the urge to layer anything else over that. It's just, I'm laughing at myself because I just want to keep it. I just want to keep the color as a solid background for now. I'm going to embellish the card now. So I'm going to tie the baker's twine around the card and then layer on some pieces. Also from the Simple Stories. The Simple Vintage Cottage Fields is just a really pretty collection. Beautiful for this color for sure, for the Salvaged Patina. So having some fun here, layering some of those pieces on and just playing. Just great creative play with the color and with these cards. Okay, I put a foam strip on the back of that, and I'm going to layer this. I'm trying to decide if I want it to go up or down. I think I'm going to have it on above the twine. Then I have this happy hello that I'm going to put here, but it's going to be hidden by the butterfly. It's just the way it is. So I liked having that kind of tone on tone there. In this instance, it just completely covers it up, and I kind of like that. It worked for me just to, even though I had a nice circle embellishment here, I just, do make these embellishments work for you. Has some nice height now, and I love that. I think that's beautiful. All right, remember the background I made earlier for the first card, and I had some left over? Well, you can see I popped a tag out of there. I used the layered nested tags from Scrapbook.com. Oops, let's turn this around. And I made this little tag that I'm going to just add right there to this card. See how fun that is? And again, as I already said, this background is just vying for something else to go on it. I just wanted to practice through just having and playing with just how these colors worked on the distress paper and with a MemoryDex die. So let's get to our next card. All right, for this next card, I have just sprayed it with the Oxide Distress spray. And then while it was still wet, I just rubbed over, and it even gave it just one more level of shade to this card. But this time I want to take the distress paint and a stencil and create a pattern on top of that layer of color. Just finishing stenciling dots. This is one of my favorite 6x8 stencils from Scrapbook.com. It's called Dotted. It's just real basic, classic pattern that you're going to want in your stash. So I used this time the distress paint, and I just wanted it to have a little bit more opacity than what maybe the ink would give it. And I think that's a lot of fun. And so I'm going to let this dry. And while it's drying, I want to show you another card. This time I left the background of the card plain, and I just wanted to show you just how brilliant and beautiful and whimsical, modern, can I think of any more adjectives, to define this card is, with just the salvaged patina just straight on the white. It's beautiful. But let's take this card that I did before and let's get it embellished now. I decided to go with some contrast. So I put these yellow butterflies, popped them up with the foam adhesive strip. And I just want to show you what I'm using. I have this big old roll up here, and I'm just cutting right from it any size that I want, depending on what size embellishment I have here. So then I popped on the coated chips with double-sided adhesive, and then tucked in this beautiful tab behind it and made a little flag here. So a few different colors going on here that are playing beautifully with the salvaged patina. So pretty happy how this card turned out. So that's card number 3. For the last card, I am using the Sizzix Tim Holtz detailed butterfly die. I have cut it out using the Distress white heavy stock paper. I covered that paper with embossing ink and then used the embossing glaze to create a beautiful finish on that detailed butterfly. Can you see it? Can you just see? I know I am going a little crazy about all of this. I think this turned out beautifully. And so I'm going to craft another MemoryDex card with this butterfly being at the center. I've used yet another tabbed die MemoryDex card and use Simple Stories background paper, kind of add in a little bit of a vintage flair here. And that's how we're going to craft this card. Using a small piece of foam adhesive, I'm going to pop the butterfly up right on the background. I considered backing this butterfly with the other detailed butterfly that comes with this set, but decided I kind of like this ethereal see-through feel. I've already prepared the See Possibility Everywhere. It's from the Tiny Text rub-ons, the Remnant rub-ons, and I'm going to also use a piece of foam tape and pop that right there in the middle. Using wildflower stems too, also a die cut from Sizzix and Tim Holtz. I cut these textured cardstock little wildflower pieces out. Then I just gave them a little touch of the Salvaged Patina. Not much at all. I just knew I wanted to use them so that they just kind of come out of the butterfly up here. So they're going to need a little bit of adhesive so that they can just tuck right in here and give this card even more great dimension and texture. I'm going to finish this card by adding a little bit of an inked edge all the way around just to give it a bit more definition, tie in the color together. I had that great little stripe of color down here, which is already doing a great job of pulling all the colors together. Just wanted to go one more step. This could be as heavy or as light as you would like it to be, just a personal preference. I'm going to go kind of light, but it just gives the card a little bit more of a cohesive feel. Super simple card, and I hope you've seen that all these cards are actually pretty simple. It just doesn't take much to add to your MemoryDex cards and make them spectacular like this one here. And with the Salvaged Patina, boy, you just can't go wrong. You're going to need this color to make some modern cards, some vintage cards, some grunged up cards, and some cards with just beautiful texture and salvaged patina. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.